What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about something I saw in the news, and that is a recent complaint that was filed in the courts from the actress who starred in Prince's Purple Rain film alongside him. I think she played his girlfriend. I actually haven't seen the film. I really, really want to. It's not streaming anywhere right now, so I guess I'm gonna have to go rent it or something. But she filed a complaint because I guess the estate is currently trying to stop her from being able to use that name and perform under it. Apollonia, I believe it is. And so I believe she filed that in the state of California, that complaint. And apparently her and her attorney, are pretty confident at this point in time at coming out of that the way they want. I don't know the exacts of the law or how any of that works, but I imagine they'll let her do it. I guess she had some applications for like a trademark of it. Maybe they got denied. It was something happened where the estate is basically the one telling her that she cannot use that name anymore. But obviously she's recognizable from the film if you've seen the movie, and I don't think she's making that much money off of that name. Obviously, it was a huge cultural moment, and she could probably still make some revenue off of it, but nothing crazy. But at the end of the day, like, Prince literally had to change his name to a symbol. So obviously, the legality of things isn't always just in the way it's done. It's just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right necessarily. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And I just wanted to bring this up because I found it funny because there was recently a documentary that was supposed to be getting made. I can't remember the filmmaker's name, but he's the guy who did the O.J. Simpson documentary in 2016, which is fantastic, by the way. I believe it's still on Netflix right now if you haven't seen that. But great documentary, and you can tell the guy who made it is just a very talented worker, and whatever he does, behind the camera, like, he knows what he's doing. And he actually got denied by the estate as well from being able to release that with Netflix. And he was complaining because essentially the state's only role in that was to verify it for accuracy. That's all they were supposed to be doing. And I mean, obviously, it's like he said, she said kind of thing now, but I tend to believe the person involved rather than a faceless estate. Who knows who's actually in charge of that? Maybe it's public info, but as far as I know, it's just they just operate under the name of being the estate. And he says that they didn't allow him to release it in reality because they didn't like the way it made Prince look. And I think that's honestly a solid, like, I believe that. Clearly, the modern landscape for musicians has changed things quite a bit as far as the way we look at them and their art in retrospect. It's come out. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of information awareness back then, so a lot of these artists were getting away with doing a lot of really, really bad stuff, even if it was just not being a good person. And kind of like what happened to Ellen didn't really do anything from what I can tell. She was just super mean about it. Obviously, Ellen's whole brand was being nice, so that was probably a bigger clash with her image than say Prince, because not that Prince was a bad person necessarily, but there's definitely stories of him not being the greatest guy. So I can only imagine what could have come out of this, that the estate felt that it would negatively impact their business, quote unquote, if it came out. I feel like I don't really hear his music too much in movies or anything, but obviously, he's got a very well-known catalog, and there's a lot of different ways in which they can monetize that stuff. So, and obviously he's an older artist too, so the interest in that catalog might not be growing. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not behind the scenes. Maybe it's doing fine, and they're just trying to protect their assets. But it was just funny because it's another like stupid thing where a giant like faceless. I don't even want to call it a corporation because it's the estate, and there's ideally supposed to be protecting the best interest of what Prince would have wanted. But the article I read actually said Prince encouraged her to use it. I don't know if they sourced where that info came from, but at the end of the day, it's the girlfriend from Purple Rain. Like, really, you can't let her, the actress that actually played that role, continue to use that? I mean, what's she really getting over on the estate that it's so important to not let her use it? I don't think anything of much, but that's just the way things go sometimes with some of these companies. It's like Nintendo. If you guys aren't familiar, Nintendo is obviously known as a very family friendly company, but they'll protect their IPs, they'll protect their business, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense to an outsider or a consumer. What they do, they feel that what they are doing is for the best interest of their properties. So it's probably a similar situation there. I don't think they really are getting hurt by her continuing to use that name. Not to mention, she's just an actress in the movie. Like, I don't think anyone really connects her too much to the overall brand or image of Prince and like her, you know what I mean? But let me know what you guys think about this. If you think it would, like, if you have some more info, the article is pretty bare bones as far as information. What I said is basically all that the article had in it. So if you do know, like, hey, maybe she's doing something crazy and actually you're like, nah, they have a legitimate claim for her hurting his image and brand. So thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See ya.